What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Counterculture Podcast. I'm here with
Haleijo.
Haleijo. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah. Explain to me in like a couple sentences what you do.
Well, okay. You got to be a little bit more specific.
So why should people care about you? I know that's a weird question.
Okay, yeah. What do I do? I think that I make working out fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
How do you make working out fun?
Well, anytime I'm competing, my biggest thing is to just not take it seriously, which I know pisses some people off, but
Yeah.
I have a lot more fun doing it. And
Yeah.
if I can spread that to people that are competing alongside me, it's always a big win.
Why do you think people get upset about that?
I think a lot of people want to take things too seriously, and that's just my opinion.
I agree
Life
with you.
is way too short.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be in the middle of a workout in a competition and I'll start dancing because my song comes on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna not dance.
Yeah.
And then it goes either way. Either someone, will be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
or they're like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I think as far as in the CrossFit space, that's what I do.
Okay,
I make
cool.
it fun.
It's funny that you say that, actually, because I think that competing should be fun too.
Yeah.
And if you're too serious about it, you'll probably fuck yourself up, actually, right? You'll have a
100%.
mishap or something.
Anytime I've ever overthought what I'm about to do,
Yeah.
it never goes well.
No, you think you have a plan, you think you have the right execution down, it just doesn't go according. So one of the last comps that I did, I had multiple people come up to me and be like, "Were you the dude that was dancing on the floor?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I need to do the same thing. I need to make it fun. I can't focus too hard. And Crank That Soulja Boy came on, so I had to do some moves.
You can't say no to that.
All right, I had to bust some moves, dude.
Yeah, you can't. A few years ago, I was competing on the main stage, Flagler, and I accidentally hopped up on the rings facing the wrong direction. And instead of just jumping down and getting back up, I decided to just try to spin.
Oh no! How did that go?
There were some videos taken, and that's kind of what put me on the scene.
That's funny. You got to show me that later.
I'll find it for you.
Maybe we can pop it in right here as the podcast goes. That'd be fun.
I'll get it for you.
Cool.
But that is a prime example of me not taking this seriously enough.
Yeah. Where do you get that from?
I've always been this way.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Just born that
Where
way.
I get it from.
Like Lady Gaga.
I was born this way, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So hey, you have a previous history though of athletics, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of stuff. You have so much diverse stuff on your Instagram. It's pretty cool. One thing that I'm really appreciative of is that you're doing Muay Thai.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I want to get into that later. What was your first athletic venture that you got into?
My first athletic venture that I got into, well, I grew up doing Taekwondo.
Sweet.
So grew up
competitively?
doing martial arts, yeah, competitively, and then I was a surfer. But I wasn't your normal everyday school athlete. I didn't play team sports. I was in band.
Nice.
Band was my life.
Hell yeah, what
So
instrument?
I was a flute, but I was
Dude.
also in orchestra. I played the violin.
Yeah.
And then I went to college, became a music major.
Cool.
So my background's in classical conducting. So the person in front of the orchestra conducting.
Nice.
And I ended up just getting into fitness as a way of counteracting the stress that the music major
Just
being
an outlet.
in a practice room 8 hours a day. It
Yeah.
was a good balance.
Okay, cool. Is that super hard?
It's extremely demanding.
Yeah?
So it's how CrossFit athletes put a lot of time into training. It's like that, but instead of training in a gym, you're in a tiny 4x4 room with no windows. Just you and your instrument going over the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, that sounds rough.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. Okay, so you started just working out just for the hell of it, basically.
Yeah.
What kind of fitness were you into?
So I joined a cardio boxing class.
Cool.
Which is actually where I met my husband.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay.
He's
Nice.
I don't know where he is, but he's here.
Sweet.
But yeah, that cardio boxing class changed my life. What happened was I was doing that, became really good friends with a core group of people there. We were always in the same class. We signed up for an obstacle course race, a mud run.
Some OCR.
OCR, yeah. Fell in love with OCR. Got
Sweet.
really competitive with that.
Which one?
Savage race.
Okay.
I got like really competitive in Savage. Like I
Nice.
loved it. And one day I was like at a race and someone's like, why don't you just do Ninja Warrior, the show? So I was like, okay, I'll just do Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
And so I got on the show. I competed on there for 4 years. And then while I was training for that, a friend just brought me to a CrossFit gym, and that's
Cool.
how I found CrossFit.
Wow.
So that was a very long answer.
No, it's good. There's a lot there. So OCR, how did you like? I'm confused with OCR.
Okay. Let me see if I can help.
Yeah, please do. Please do. So I know there's like the Tough Mudder, the Spartan,
Yeah.
Savage. What else is there? There's like one more big one, isn't there? Well, is High Rocks OCR? No, that's not OCR, right?
It's not. That's like a new thing that I want to try, but
I do too.
I don't know. We got Tough Mudder, Savage Race, Spartan Race. There used to be Bone Frog, but they are no longer.
Okay. So whenever I've gone to one of those events, though, I didn't realize that it was like there's purses. Like people actually like can be pro,
Yeah.
and compete.
Yeah.
Well, how do you get like into the competitive side of it?
So I haven't competed competitively in a mud run for a few years since like getting into CrossFit. But when I don't know if it's changed. Well, you just sign up to be elite, and then you can compete for money.
Dang.
And then there's other races that you have to qualify for, like Worlds. You have to like come in a certain amount of races, like in the top 10 or something.
Okay.
That's how I understand it.
Is there like are there? So I guess like, is it kind of akin to like there's Tia? There's like all these different people. Is that the same thing in OCR too? Like there's people that you look for that you're chasing.
I think so, but I'm so far removed from that space at this
okay.
point that I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Back
I'm
when
pretty
you were
sure.
there?
Back when I was there, no.
No?
It was just kind of like it was like starting up.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't super competitive. I remember, I think it was like 3 years ago, I decided to just go back to a Savage race and give it a shot, and
Yeah.
it was a completely different world.
Really?
Like these women train for this.
Got it. So that's what I was going to ask
Yeah.
you. So when you say you were competitive, was it like you were actively training for this stuff, or was like you showed up and you're like, fuck these people, I'm going to win type thing?
That was me.
That was it.
It's
Okay,
kind of-
okay, got it. 'Cause-
And then when I did the Ninja Warrior stuff, I got competitive. Like there was like a ninja gym that I would train at, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so how do you get into getting on that show? How do you get into Ninja Warrior?
You have to, it's like an interview process.
Really?
So it's actually, they make it feel like a sport,
Yeah.
but it's a reality television show.
Oh, nice.
So you have to fill out, like a form.
NDA or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to, film a video of yourself just talking about yourself.
Okay.
And then they'll call you and then they interview you, and if they like you, you get on the show.
So is there like a script to follow? Is there a storyline? I've never watched Ninja Warrior.
No. Okay. So like to give you an example, the first question on the thing I had to fill out to apply for the show was like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Okay.
That's how it started.
Wait, let's restart. What is the worst thing that ever happened
Well,
to
so
you?
I didn't answer that. Like,
You didn't?
I was just like, I don't have a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, I said, I'm a music major. I don't do this at all. And I guess they liked that.
Yeah. Okay,
They're like,
sweet.
yeah, let's get her on the show.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sweet, dude.
Yeah, I kept it very positive, and
That's probably exactly why they wanted you on the show then.
I think so. It
Yeah.
like gave a little bit, because there's those reality shows, like they love a good sob story. Who doesn't love rags to riches?
Yeah, right.
Those are so inspirational.
Yeah.
But it was like I think a good balance for all of that, which is why they picked me.
Is there, so when you say it's like reality TV,
Yeah.
so you actually, I know somebody else who was on Ninja Warrior. You probably know the guy.
Grant?
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah.
I forget how he explained it to me, but he was like, yeah, they put you up in a hotel, you go and you film for like a week or two or something, and then that's how they get the whole season?
Yeah.
What's
so
that
there's
process?
two different. I did the show Ninja vs. Ninja with Grant.
Okay.
So they flew me out to California, and I stayed in a hotel for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we filmed at night, so I became nocturnal.
Nice.
So we would film 3 episodes a night, and
Wow.
within 2 weeks we had a whole season of TV.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
What's-
but like my body.
Yeah, so do you have
Holy
any
man.
experience doing any of that at this point, like from
Yeah,
OCR?
at that point I had experience.
Okay. You were training at a ninja gym before
yeah.
you did the ninja show?
Yes.
What's it like getting ready for that?
It was just a lot of grip training,
Yeah?
like so much grip training.
Did you take to it pretty quickly?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, it came pretty naturally, and I was very light. Like I was since lifting, I've gained like 30 pounds. I was like 90 pounds, so
nice.
It was pretty easy to just eat myself places.
Yeah.
And I'm short, so that's like a disadvantage. Like you want to have good
long limbs.
reach. So like Grant's very tall.
Yeah.
It works for him. So for me, being really light and little, I was just able to launch myself.
Yeah,
the
nice.
obstacles.
Just run really fast and jump really far.
Just jump as far as you can and pray.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's like, can I ask you what's pay like for something like that?
I don't know what it's like now, but when I did it, nothing.
You didn't get paid?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I don't know.
How old were you?
21?
Okay. Were you working at that time and you were just like, this seems worth it to be on TV?
I just did it for fun. So back to my...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't look at it like... I was a very different person. I wasn't like a competitive athlete at that time. I was still in school. It just was like a fun opportunity for me to do. It was a good decompression. I loved the people that worked on the show. I loved the other competitors.
Yeah.
So it just became something I did for fun.
Cool. How stoked was your family when you got accepted to be on television?
They were pumped.
Yeah?
They thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And
what about your friends? Were they like, Haley's too famous for us now. She's too cool.
No.
No?
Not at all. They just gave me a lot of shit.
They did?
Yeah.
Why? For what?
They're like, oh, she's a TV star now. Like, I can't. Yeah.
Was it overall like a really good experience?
Overall, very good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the worst thing that ever happened was I went to Cincinnati one year and I like got part of the way down the course, fell in the water, and I was pretty like happy about it. Like I was like, okay, cool, because when you're a woman, it's more like how far you get in the course, not how fast you get through the course.
Oh, okay.
But then I found out that I guess my foot touched the water like in the first obstacle, so I was disqualified.
Oh, interesting.
And no one told me.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I was like, wait, okay, so that was that. So I flew to Cincinnati, did the show that night, and that was it.
So, okay, wait, so that's how it happens? They just like, if you're done, you gotta go back home?
Yeah.
Jeez.
At least then. I know it's different now. Like, I think now they film during the day and they film inside a stadium. So back in the day, in my time, it was outside. They would move the course like different cities around the country. So one year I was in Daytona, another year was Miami, Cincinnati. And you were just kind of had to depend on the weather.
Yeah.
Like I did it one year in Miami right here and it poured out. Like the show had to keep halting.
So you had to just keep staying for a long time?
Waiting and waiting.
Jeez, dude. Is it the same course all the time?
No, it's different.
Oh, different every time?
So different cities would have different courses, different years have different courses. They're always designing new obstacles.
Wow, that's so. How do you get prepared for something like that? You just try and do everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
What are like some core skills that you need to have to do ninja?
The dead hangs.
Dead hangs?
Being able to hold yourself up for a long period of time, like from a bar. Lashaying, so being able to throw your body from one spot to another. A lot of very successful people on that show are rock climbers.
Really?
Yeah, so just the grip, being light, and knowing, like, having really good body awareness.
Yeah, cool. And then so after your journey from Ninja Warrior, how do you find CrossFit?
So a friend was in town and she was like, hey, you want to come? Hi. Sorry.
Hey, what's up?
You come to this gym. Like I found this local gym. She was from out of state and she did CrossFit. She was there visiting her family, so she wanted to do CrossFit. She knows I was really into like fitness stuff. Yeah. She just brought me in. I could barely back squat 35 pound barbell.
The barbell?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's just really funny how far I've come since that day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How long have you been doing CrossFit?
5 years.
5 years? Okay, so yeah, you've come a long way, huh? What was like, do you want to do this full time? Like, is CrossFit what you want to do? I do. Do you want to go to the games and all that? Yeah, it's always the goal is to like go as far as you possibly can. I mean, at least for me. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm the same way, yeah. When was it like, when was that point for you though, when you're doing CrossFit and you're like, this is something that I really want to do? I want to say like a year ago. Yeah? Like a year ago. Okay, sweet. I don't know what happened, but my Instagram just started getting traction and
more brands started reaching out to me, and so I was just in the gym a lot more, getting content and going to photo shoots like all over the country.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, I can actually make this my life?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So then I started taking it more seriously.
Did you acquire a big following from Ninja Warrior? I should have asked you that
No.
before. No? So it was like the CrossFit
Yeah,
shit.
the minute my page was I started my page because the producers of the show were like, you have to keep your private life separate from TV. And I was like, okay, cool. So I don't have to annoy my friends with all my posting of like fitness stuff.
Yeah.
It'll just be a page for fitness stuff. So when I was posting about Ninja Warrior, it was like, I had a couple hundred followers.
Yeah.
And it like was attached to the show, which was cool. But the minute I changed my name from Ninja Haleijo to No Average Joe, is what I changed it to.
Nice.
That's when it started blowing up. And then I changed my name again to be more professional to just my name.
Yeah.
And then it blew up more.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think maybe just because it's like more legit.
Like you're an athlete and not just,
Like, oh, who's this person?
Right.
It's their name.
It's their name. She's a real athlete.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, when I started posting like lifting, it was just a diary basically to track like my progress. It's fun to like, you can scan back to the bottom of my page and see how awful I was.
Dude, that's cool though, right? Like one of the reasons why I like Instagram, YouTube, vlogs, whatever, is because you get to see throughout the years like where you were at.
Yeah.
And then just look at the progression or the regression over time.
Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah, with some shit, right?
Yeah, but the more I posted, the more and then I started incorporating more of my personality into it, because I was like, why am I just keeping it, like that? People wanted to see my dogs. They wanted to hear my story. I started talking about random facts, and I call them car facts. Like every morning on my way to work,
I've
say
seen that.
like a fun fact in my car.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
How important do you think that is on the influencer side? Like, I just talked to Kyra about this.
Yeah.
That, like, I feel like some athletes, right, they don't get the same conversion for like sales and their codes or whatever. They don't get the same amount of like the same type of brand deals because, and not to their fault, but they're so focused on the athlete thing because you have to train for a long time compared to like actually being able to like produce content, like show like your dogs and shit like that. You know what I mean? How important do you think that is in your success online?
I think it might be, as far as like if you're looking from like a brand standpoint, what do they want? They obviously want someone that's successful in the space, but they also want someone that's gonna successfully promote their product.
Yeah.
So if you have someone that's just head down, training all the time and then competing, that's great. It looks good for the brand because they're successful, but there's not a lot of effort on the marketing side.
Yeah.
So I learned this a year ago, that a lot of brands are switching over to social media marketing because not a lot of people like have cable anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like a lot of that money is going towards YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
So like I'm in marketing. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, I hate the word influencer because it's annoying.
Why?
I don't know. Because I'm like, I'm an influencer. Like,
I could imagine it's probably, well, you have a lot of followers, so it's probably way more annoying for you than it would be for someone like me, where I'm like, I want to be an influencer.
Like when we go to like dinner parties and stuff, and they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like,
don't say influencer. Don't say influencer.
yeah. And my husband's like, you should just be proud of it. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I am proud of it. Like, don't get me wrong, but he's like, well, just say you're in marketing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, to the original point, yeah, it's very important to, because the brands are hiring you to promote their stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to put effort into the promotion of their stuff. You can't just do your own thing and then have that fall.
Yeah. Is it hard to figure out like a natural way to kind of like make a sale or promote a company? Or is it like you only work with companies that you actually enjoy, so it's pretty easy?
It's very easy. Most of the time, if a brand reaches out to me, I always have them send me the product first.
Yeah.
I always hop on a phone call just to make sure like we get along. Mm-hmm. Like that's a huge part of it too. One, you like the product, and two, you like the people that you're gonna work with.
Right. Has there ever been a brand where like they offered you like a good bag and you were like, oh, I kind of want, but no, I can't?
No, that's never happened.
Nice.
No, that's never happened. There was one instance with a brand that I will not name.
Okay.
Where they came to me and they hired me and they were very nice. And then I noticed they weren't like sharing a bunch of my stuff, so I reached out. I was like, hey, is everything okay? I always try to like be very thorough because they hired me to do a service.
Yeah.
And basically the people that were running the company did not agree at all.
Okay.
But yeah, this dude told me that I was too unprofessional for their brand because I was too goofy.
You were unprofessional?
Unprofessional, too goofy, too childish, immature.
Really?
Yeah, all over the phone, and I just cried.
You cried?
Yeah,
Why?
I cried. Because it hurt my feelings.
Well, I know that. Why did it hurt your feelings, though?
I don't know. Like, because I'm just still learning how to be tough.
Yeah. Well,
in the space.
I mean, kind of fuck that guy, right? Because it's like, they knew what they were getting into.
Well, that's why I was so confused.
Yeah.
They reached out to me.
Right.
Did they look through my page? So now...
Obviously not. They just saw the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big learning experience.
Yeah.
Now every time someone reached out to me, I'm like, hey,
Have you looked
at what I do?
Yes.
Have you looked at me?
Right.
But yeah, I've never had an opportunity come about where I turned it down.
Nice.
I've been very lucky.
Cool. I like that you phrased it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. I just had a brain fart.
That's okay.
I'm super sorry.
Oh, don't be. I don't know how you do it. I'm very impressed right now.
No. You shouldn't be. Because a lot of this is just like on the fly. I think God is talking through me, right?
I like it.
Cool, man. Well, because I'm like trying to figure out and navigate the whole brand side of things and like working with brands. And
Yeah.
I've even like, there's been some like opportunities with like certain influencers where I'm like, I don't think that I should talk to this person because like it doesn't align with me at all, my values, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like it could be like a quick come up type of thing. And I'm like, who gives a shit? You know, this should be like a long play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, is influencing is not your full time, right? You have a job.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm a chiropractic assistant.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You want to crack my neck?
No.
Come on, it'll make a good thumbnail.
It would be a good thumbnail,
Yeah.
but I would probably get arrested.
How'd you get into that?
My dad's a chiropractor.
Oh, so you work for your dad?
Yeah, I work with my dad, yeah.
Dude, that's sick. Perfect opportunity.
I love my dad. We're like besties. So
Sweet.
I just get to hang out with my dad all day.
Did you have to go to school for that?
Yeah.
What's the schooling like for a chiropractic assistant?
Chiropractic assistant is 4 years pre-health.
Okay. I've
And,
never heard of this before.
No?
No, I've only heard of like, I've never gone to a chiropractor and they had like
Okay.
an assistant with them.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So did you do it just because your dad was a chiropractor?
Pretty much, yeah.
Sweet.
So I was a music major.
Yeah.
And I had a plan to become a classical conductor. But near the end of my degree, I started having second thoughts, naturally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics. I didn't like the lifestyle that a lot of musicians live. Like it's
Lonely?
not necessarily lonely, but like it just felt unhealthy.
Okay.
I'm very active. I take care of myself, and
Yeah.
it just didn't align.
Sure.
And I know I could make it what I make it, right? But
Yeah.
like you are around the people that you're with all
Yeah,
the time, and
for
it
sure.
just wasn't working. And then the other reason was I felt like I was being selfish. That was a big thing for me. I know music's very helpful to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Musicians are needed, but I wanted to be more hands-on in
Okay.
helping people. So my dad was like, why don't you just come work with me for a little while, see how you like it. I ended up falling in love with it and went back to school.
How did you feel selfish? What do you mean by that?
I just wanted to help people hands-on,
Like serve people.
serve people.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I'm just playing my flute or I'm conducting for an orchestra, it just wasn't fulfilling that part of me enough.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Dude, I like that. That's really cool.
That's how I felt. I was like having total quarter life crisis.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what to do, and I kind of get a little bit of the helping people like in this space.
Yeah.
Through like coaching, but also I just like making people laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
You do a good job. You do a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. I feel like you know, I feel like chasing money and career and stuff like that, it's all cool until it's not, right?
Yeah.
And like so at some point you have to figure out a way to find purpose and fulfillment through something, right? And for me too, that comes from like serving people.
Yeah.
So I'm getting rid of my gym now. I own one, I'm getting rid of it, but the hardest portion of that for me was that I wouldn't be able to serve the teenagers that I have.
Aww.
So like I'd have to like disconnect from them. I'm going all in on the podcast this year. That's why I'm like getting rid of my gym.
Amazing.
But yeah, thanks. Hopefully it works. Please,
It's
God,
gonna
please.
work.
Yeah, it will. It will. But yeah, so like part of the hardest part was getting rid of it because of my kids. I love my kids. I love like being able to mentor teenagers
Yeah.
and like have a part in their life and get their parents to text me and like, you've done so much for whatever. So I found a way to rent from my old friend, the place that I used to rent from, and he's gonna let me just be there 2 to 3 hours a day and just like train my teenagers
Oh my
and shit.
gosh,
So,
there
yeah.
you go.
But back to like your point, right?
Yeah.
Serving people, being hands-on and stuff. It's like, it's amazing.
It really does. Anytime I'm having a bad day, I just like focus on helping someone,
Yeah.
and it always makes my day better.
Yeah, it's way.
That sounds so cheesy and douchebag.
But no, but it's
But it's
true.
the truth.
Yeah, and you can tell it's genuine. There are some
Yeah.
people where they say that and you're like, yeah, all right, dude.
I say it out loud, and I'm like, man, what a bitch.
Like I am media trained for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not.
They
It's
put
like,
her through a media course for a Ninja Warrior, so that's why she's saying this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just kidding.
No.
Cool. You can tell me if you don't want me to put this in the podcast too.
Okay.
Do you work at the chiropractic office because you have to as well, or is like influencing enough for you and you're doing it because you want to?
So you can absolutely put this in the podcast.
Sweet.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
The influencing is so, what's the word? It fluctuates
Yeah.
so much. It's not a very steady job by
Ebbs and
any
flows.
means.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where absolutely I didn't need that job,
Yeah.
and influencing could have been it. But I really do enjoy my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's very difficult to let that go. Kind of like how you really enjoy working with those teenagers.
Yeah.
I really like my job.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to let that go. I know I want to do this full time and everything, but I don't think I'll ever stop working at the office.
Nice.
Whether that's reduced hours, less
Yeah.
days a week, like I really enjoy helping people hands-on.
Yeah.
I like the conversations. I meet different people every day.
Yeah.
And I get to hang out with my dad all day.
Heck yeah, dude.
It's like a bonus.
Win, win, win.
Yeah.
Huh? So what does training look like for you, and what does work look like for you? Because you're trying to make it to that elite level, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, it's some hard fucking work.
It is a lot of work. So right now, when I'm in the gym 5 days a week, typically 2 to 3 hours when I'm there.
Cool.
I found that less is more for me.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where I was in the gym for like 4 or 5 hours, and my body just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I wasn't progressing like I should have.
Yeah.
So I dialed it back a little bit, focused on my job a little bit more.
Yeah.
And because I felt myself getting burnt out, and that's never a good
That's
thing.
not good at all, no. Do you have a coach?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I have a coach. He writes me programming. I just do the programming, and
Sweet.
it's like I just do what's written and I leave.
What was that conversation like? Like telling him like, hey man, I gotta back off a little bit.
He was pretty cool about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I actually experienced the same thing. So I was gonna, you did Monster Games, right?
I did.
Yeah. So I was gonna compete men's RX.
Yeah.
And I got hurt. I hurt my neck, whatever. So I had to back off. And then obviously I wanted to focus on the podcast and my business.
Yeah.
So I told my coach, I was like, and I was kind of like nervous. I'm like, hey, Mia, I gotta back off. I can't be working out for 5 hours a day. But then I noticed the same thing. I almost like, I'm not as achy, so I can work harder. You know, I have more output, more energy to give in those 2
More
hours that I
energy,
do.
like-
Yeah.
I started PRing again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
What was I doing to myself?
Yes. And you
I
almost
feel
feel like
better.
more fit too.
I feel so much more fit.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
I actually just took 2 weeks off, which sounds.
That's a no-no in CrossFit.
I know it's a no-no.
Yeah.
But I did.
How was it?
I was so scared,
Yeah.
but I came back and I PR'd.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Everything's better.
Yeah. Everything
My
just
hip-
feels good.
I've had a hip injury for like a year.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely gone. Now
That's
I just
good.
work out pain-free. It's amazing.
Nice. Now you can
Highly
squat.
recommend. Didn't lose any gains.
Yeah.
I feel better. I'm sleeping better. Like I feel like my adrenal glands have returned to full functioning
Yeah.
strength.
Your dad is probably like, hey, Haley.
I I get in trouble all the time.
Yeah, I bet. Is he adjusting you every day?
Every day.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure.
I get lectures all the time.
You got to cool it with that.
Yeah.
So, hey, we'll touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
So, you have all that training, you work. Now, where do you fit Muay Thai? How do you fit that in?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Are you doing it frequently?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I go there when I first started doing it a few months ago. I was going like every day.
Yeah.
And so I was doing CrossFit and Muay Thai at the same time. This was right before my 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
I just was like, it was
Sending
too much.
You sent it.
All of my joints hurt. Like every part of my body hurt.
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing it 2 days a week.
Nice.
And it's working out pretty well.
Yeah.
It's like a good. I found that it's made me stronger, and I think it's because I'm using trunk rotation.
The rotation,
which
yeah.
you don't use in CrossFit
At all.
So all those muscle fibers are like thickening up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like my power output is more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I feel like it's very beneficial.
Yeah.
For what I'm doing, so it's not taking away.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it like 2 or 3 days a week.
What's your favorite kick?
I like a good head kick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not super realistic in a fight, but
Yeah.
I grew up doing Taekwondo, which is point sparring, so 3 points if you hit their head.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So I'm just kind of programmed.
Yeah.
for that.
That's awesome, dude. I was like, when I saw your first like Muay Thai thing, I was like, she actually knows how to kick something. Like she doesn't look like a CrossFitter trying to throw punches. Like you definitely have a Taekwondo style.
Yeah.
Like it looks Taekwondo. I did Muay Thai for like 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah. And I wanted to fight. I wanted to compete, but I found CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I was also like, I have hit my head too many times skateboarding. I don't think I need to get hit anymore. So I stopped sparring altogether.
Yeah.
And you need to spar to
You
fight.
have to spar. Yeah.
You have to. Do you think, are you going to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
I have to. I can't die
You got to try
without
it.
having done a fight, you know?
Dude, that's something that I go back and forth with all the time too. Like, I'm like, I've had like little scuffles in the street, right? But that's not the same as like two dudes.
That's badass.
No, it's not. I tell people all the time, like fighting is the dumbest shit. When you hurt somebody for the first time, and it's not like in a ring, like when you hurt somebody, you feel, at least me, I felt so bad.
Aw.
Anytime, like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, this never had to happen. Like, it just doesn't have to happen,
avoided.
you know?
Yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
yeah, but in the ring or like sparring, that's different. You're both agreeing to this combat, you know?
Yeah, everyone's pretty cool about it too.
Yeah.
And every time when I'm sparring in my gym at home, if I get hit really hard, I just break down laughing.
Yeah.
And the other person starts laughing. It's just, I can't not laugh. Like, you just punch me in the face.
Yeah. That's how it's going to be in the ring too when you get your first fight.
Unfortunately.
You just laugh and
My
they're like,
competitor's going to be like, what the fuck is going on right
she's
now?
nuts, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't do this. When is your
100%.
first fight? When are you scheduling
I don't know.
it?
I think I'm going to try for this summer.
Damn. All right. Perfect.
Yeah, like in June.
Yeah.
Like June, July.
Cool,
That's my
dude.
plan.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, man, I really appreciate you sitting down, taking the time to do this podcast with me, and plug anything that you want to plug to our far less followers than you.
All right, plug. Okay, try Benchmark Coffee.
Benchmark Coffee?
Benchmark Coffee, new brand, started working with me. They were initially Violet Coffee, named after their daughter, because how successful their company was going to be how successful their daughter's life was. And I was like, they recently renamed themselves to Benchmark Coffee.
Wow.
And then Wild South, my homies.
Yeah, they're
Mother
dope.
and Father Walters.
Yeah, they're sick.
They're not
cool
my
people.
parents.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are my
Technically.
parents. Yeah, I love them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Those
dude.
are my two besties.
Good. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you again.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, do all that. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yeah.